Hi everyone, my name's Alex and I'll be guiding us through a 15-minute meditation. So today I want to think about energy in the way that we charge our phones, right? So let's pretend we have two different charging cables. We have a charging cable that can give us 1% every minute, and then we have a charging cable that can give us 2% every minute. So obviously the one that's giving us 2% every minute is going to charge our phones a lot faster. But let's take one more thing into account: the amount of energy we're spending through our phones. So if our phone is just sitting there and we power it off, then of course it's really going to charge pretty quickly. But if we're using our phone, if we're doing social media, if we're checking emails, if we're sending text messages, now we have this kind of economy that's happening with our cell phones where we're spending energy as we're trying to charge it. So let's take this whole example into our big perspective. Let's pretend that as a user, we're using our cell phone and we're draining the phone at 5% every minute, right? Well, it's plugged in, but it's only charging at 1%, which gives us a negative deficit 4% every minute. So if we start off at 100%, then slowly with enough time, based on how we're using the phone, we're going to be completely drained in 25 minutes or so, okay? On the other hand, if we have a bigger charger, we get a little bit more time, but probably still not enough. We only get another 10-15 minutes. Now we look at another thing. Is there a way we can take our usage down? So if we want to keep our phone completely charged, we look at these two things. A, how much energy can I be bringing in? And B, how little energy can I be utilizing? So obviously, the more we can bring energy in and the less energy that we burn or expend, the more we're going to be able to use our cell phone throughout the day. The same is true in the physical body. We are constantly taking in energy. Yes, with food, sleep allows us to turn the phone off so that we're not utilizing it, which means that the way it's charging just happens to be more efficient. But every single breath we take is that trickle charger. Now, in this metaphor, you've got a 1% charger and a 2% charger. What's the difference? The difference is in the way you breathe. If you're slumped over like this and you're breathing very shallow, or if you're sitting nice and tall and you're literally taking double the breath, double the volume of every inhale and exhale, and you're more conscious of it, your energy is just going to be a little more uplifted. Why? Because you'll be purging carbon dioxide at twice the rate, and you'll be bringing in oxygen at twice the rate, okay? So half of this practice that I want to go over right now is the way that we breathe and the way that we create a space for the breath to be deep. And then the second part is how can we efficiently expend our energy? Mainly this kind of builds off of some of the other things I've talked about, which is how to relax unnecessary tension, how to utilize our energy in the most efficient, optimal way. So first, let's stretch the body and get some space for the lungs and for the body to breathe, okay? So just start to take your arms, reach them wide. Now I want you to find a full inhalation, but the way I want you to do it is to alternate between breathing in through your nose and through your mouth. The reason being is try just the nose and breathe as deep as you can. You'll feel a little bit of resistance, exhale that out, and then try it through the mouth, inhale. There's a little bit of resistance and we don't really hit that cap in context, in contrast. Let's try this. Empty out. Now, maybe alternate about 3 times. You go nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth. This is all one continuous inhale. Try it out. And then empty out through the mouth. Again, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth. Empty out. One more. Nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth. Empty it out. Now let's add a little bit of movement. So we've got this way of breathing that's enhancing the amount of volume we take in. It's also helping to mitigate the strain as we breathe. So alternating to the nose and the mouth takes the strain away from the nose when we switch to the mouth, and vice versa. So we add a little bit of movement, start swaying side to side, and then alternate through nose and mouth. Take a deep inhale. And at the top, force a little bit. It's assertive, not aggressive, but take a sniff through the nose and a sip through the mouth, and then add that little bit of movement. And the movement might allow you to free up some space for the lungs, which you can then sniff or sip more in. And then exhale it out. Take the arms, reach them up. Imagine you're climbing up a rope. As you go side to side, inhale, nose, mouth, and at the top, sniff it out, sip it out. Just feel the lungs expand, feel the spine get longer, and then exhale it all the way out. And now, just nose, mouth, slowly in, alternating through. Sit up nice and tall. And now just through the nose, all the way full. Empty it out. Breathing solely through the nose, start to cycle your breath and just notice. You can do that nose, mouth, and the movements as long as you like. 5 to 10 minutes is really quite adequate to open up the rib cage, to open up the lungs, to help lengthen the spine, especially early in the morning or after a long day where you've been kind of sitting or slouching. It's such a powerful way to just realign your body, because the idea is we have all these rivers that flow through us. And when we slouch, when we crunch, when we dump into our body, we take those rivers and just like a hose, we put little kinks in it. And as we lengthen, we allow the breath to flow. It's like we're taking those kinks out and allowing the water, the energy to flow more freely. So the alignment of the body takes a big part in how efficient your breath is going to be. So now start to come to stillness. And rather than controlling your breath, just start to scan. Where do you feel unnecessary tension? And let this be a game of cause and effect. There's no right and there's no wrong. You're welcome to explore and experiment. You can even contract and kind of squeeze the muscles in your face or squeeze the muscles in your arms or jaw or shoulders. Because sometimes you need that intensity of activation in order to find what it truly feels like to let go. But in stillness, explore. What is necessary for you to sit tall so that your lungs can breathe easy? And then what becomes excessive? If you're straining to sit too tall, then let some of it go. And every day is a little bit different. Today, sitting up really tall might feel forceful. Tomorrow might be a little bit easier, or vice versa. So what matters is not what you were like in the past or what you might be like in the future, but connecting in sensitivity to the present time experience. Soften the skin of your forehead. Soften your eyes. Feel and relax your temples. Your jaw, your shoulders. Feel and relax your arms, your hands. Relax your core muscles. Let your belly kind of sway with the breath. Let it fill outward in all directions. Where do you hold your tension? Where do you hold your tightness? This time that we spend in meditation is the calibration in letting go the unnecessary tension, but we recognize it's unconscious tension. The world is full of triggers, your email, your workstation, the news, media, your friends, your family, cars passing by, whatever it might be. Can you take this time to drop down into a very soft place, engaged enough that you can sit tall, feel long in your spine, and not 1 volt of energy more expended through your nervous system? And when you scan the entire body, restart. go through the eyes, go through the face, because your sensitivity, your awareness will grow. As it deepens, you may notice there's still a little bit of residual tension. Now you can let it soften. And so deeper and deeper you go into a state of relaxation. How much tension is necessary in your meditation? And it's my hope for you that this sensitivity builds so that when you leave the mat behind, you go through your day and constantly check in how much tension is necessary as you're making your lunch, as you're on a conference call, as you're driving your car, going for a walk, doing errands or chores around the house. Remember the analogy of the cell phone. See, but for us, we're not plugged in. We have free energy all around us in the way that we breathe. If we breathe shallow, it's like we're on a trickle charger. Can the breath be free and easy? You create a space with those deeper breaths for a few moments, those nose, mouth, sniff and sip, really expanding the lung capacity. But that's not a practice you do all day. You do that just so you can expand the potential of every breath, so that every breath you take is just a little fuller. It's a little freer. And that's half the practice, and the other half is expending less and less. So you keep scanning, you keep noticing. Let's contemplate sleep. When we sleep, it's as if we have our cell phone, and even though we're charging it all day, it just never really gets to full. And so what do we have to do is we have to stop using it. And so sleep is a time where we put our body down for a moment. It's like turning your cell phone off and just letting the charge happen faster. But even sleep, it's not black or white. If we're holding on to tension as we go to bed, we toss and turn, we're still expending energy. And so if you want to be more efficient, and if you want to feel fully charged throughout the day, this practice of constantly noticing, constantly checking in can be so profound. Because energy is the currency of the universe. The less you have, the more you're going to try finding it from the outside world, caffeine, stimulants, TV, sugary or fatty foods. And the more energy you have, the more natural it is to share it, to give it, and to feel it. Maybe you can relax your body so much so that you can take your awareness from a state of doing to a state of being. Can you feel your heart? When your body is very relaxed, when the muscles soften, the energy used to animate motor function and move the body heightens your state of awareness. In feeling your heartbeat, energy flows where your awareness goes. Your heart actually begins to open. And those wonderful hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, begin to release. So we're constantly looking for those hormones to make us feel happy and relaxed, but actually, that's the dog that's being wagged by the tail. If we actually relax first, if we get into a place of surrender, control the physical body, you can feel your heart open. Those hormones will shift the way you feel. So remember that this practice is the calibration where you become sensitive and also have the experience of what it's like to be very soft, very open, nice and relaxed. The energy is going upwards, even though you're awake. Your energy is still regenerating, restoring, because you're just not wasting it through tension, overthinking. But the true practice is, can you take this off the mat? As often as you can today, check in, soften what's not necessary, and you'll feel so vibrant. You'll feel that you're staying high on your energy scale. Your battery stays fully charged throughout the day. So I hope this meditation helps you. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.